We're here at the Deem Hills Recreation Area, and today I'm going to be doing a loop around the entire park and summiting the unnamed peak. I'll be starting the loop counterclockwise, going on the right side first. And the mountains over here look like a giant wall, and it's so beautiful. The mountains look beautiful over here, so I'm really excited. Let's get into it. So we got some uphill going on, and it's not that hard of a hike, but there's no breeze, so it's kind of hot, and that makes it 10 times harder on any kind of hike. But very exciting for me. You guys probably don't care, but I got ice cold water this time, so that's what I needed to keep going. It's also very bright, it kind of hurts my eyes, so that's why I got the glasses. We're at the split off. There's two paths, one on this side, one on the other end, that go to the peak over here, which actually, because it's called Ridgeline Trail, I'm assuming it's called Ridgeline Peak. So I'm just gonna call it that. But this one goes to Ridgeline Peak, but it also splits off and you can go on this smaller peak over here. So we're gonna do that real quick, come back down and then keep going. So as soon as I crossed to the other side, it got super quiet. And you can see the cars and the rest of the population is way too far for their sound to reach here, which is amazing. I didn't know this side was gonna be this quiet and peaceful, and it really is great. It's something you don't really get very often on mountains near the city. And a good thing about the trail is there's a lot of stops for shade, so you don't gotta worry about that. We got a bunch of lava rock, absolutely beautiful. Here's the split off. This one goes to where I need to go, but this one's the one that goes up. Whew. All right, let's go. I can feel the snakes waiting for me to leave. There's something so different about this side of the mountain, almost like I'm on a different mountain. Everything is kind of darker. The dirt's darker, the rocks are darker. It's so much better on the eyes, and it looks so beautiful. So from here you can see where I'm gonna be going. I'm gonna loop back around the mountain behind me and then come back out from this trail right here, go up to the peak right here, come back down, and then loop back to the parking lot. A snake is definitely in there waiting for something to go by. What I really love are these false ocotillos. They have these beautiful bright orange flowers on the tips. And even though these cholla cactus would make me cry, they are so beautiful in the sun. We got a baby false ocotillo. And the thing is, so much of these plants look dead right now, but they're just holding their energy in until spring comes and the water, and we actually get rain, until they'll explode with color and blooms. The false ocotillo are covered in these really sharp, thick thorns. And you can see right here, the already spent flowers. And we're back on the main loop. Look at this baby one we got growing off the side right here. How cute. This last stretch right here was pretty long and there wasn't much to see, so I didn't record for that. That's probably because the sun is mostly beating on the south side during winter, and that explains why it was darker and more pretty on the other side, because it holds more moisture since the sun's not on it. I just saw this guy running down from the top of the mountain that I was just at. I don't know how people do that. I would die if I had to run up and down the mountains. That's crazy. We're approaching the trail that goes to Ridgeline Peak, and I saw 2 horses go by, but I didn't get it on video, unfortunately. Here we go up to Ridgeline Peak. We're now in the shade of the mountain. The temperature dropped a lot. It's crazy how much the temperature can drop just from being in the shade of the mountain compared to outside in the sun. Because it was hot and it was miserable out there in the sun. There was like no breeze, but now it's like chilly. I can almost put on a light jacket. We've officially made it to the top of Ridgeline Peak. Look at that view. Over here, we got Leaden Mountain, which I was on a few days ago, where I started from here, up there, down, and then up this one and back out. Then over here, we got Thunderbird Conservation Park. Not sure what these ones are named. Oh, wow. Look how beautiful it is right there. Wow. Just amazing. I'm not gonna spend too much time up here because I already spent way too long on the trail, so let's head down. We got some facts right here, talking about this water right here. Guess it's the biggest water resource for Arizona and delivers about 1.5 million acre feet of Colorado River water per year to all over Arizona. 336 miles long. What I thought was really cool is that they use grass-eating carp to control algae in the canal instead of using chemicals. Really interesting. The path just turned into red rock. Really cool. Okay, I am finally back in the car and I am so exhausted right now. I don't know what happened, but the last quarter of the hike, I just was not feeling it anymore. I just wanted to be home. I didn't want to finish anything. And I don't know if it was because I didn't eat enough, because I was hungry halfway through the trail, and it started getting hot. And when it gets hot, I get pretty grumpy. So I have a feeling that those two combined really put a sour end to the trail. At the beginning, I was so excited. Everything was so beautiful. And that was probably my favorite part. I saw the most plants and different stuff going on. The lava rock, all of it was so beautiful, and there was so much happening in the middle of the mountains towards the beginning. Walking along the outside of the whole mountains, I felt it was kind of boring. There really wasn't much going on. I saw a few birds and one rabbit on the way back, or a bunny, and a lizard, but really plant-wise there wasn't anything there besides what I've already seen, and it wasn't like how it was in the middle where it was dense and there was a lot of different plants and clusters and stuff. It was kind of just plain, and I didn't like that much. But I still am glad that I did it. So on the All Trails app, they only had 2 of the peaks or through to around the whole Deem Hills area. So I did the Deem Hill Loop, which goes around the whole park, and I did both of the peaks too, which was a total of 8 point something miles, which was actually a lot more than I thought. I went up 1,200 feet of elevation during the whole trip, which isn't that much, but it's the length that made it kind of exhausting. It took me about 4 hours to do this trail. And keep in mind, that's also me doing recording and taking pictures of everything that I'm seeing. So that's gonna slow me down quite a bit. But I thought it was great. I think I'm gonna give this one a 3.5 on the hard scale out of 1 to 10. It wasn't that difficult. Like I said, my mood just completely changed and went sour towards the end, and that's what kind of ruined the end to me, so I'm not going to count that into how hard the trail was. It was beautiful. The only thing I didn't like about the ridgeline overlook area is that it's not an actual summit. So it's just a little overlook area, and then it just goes right into the trail again, which I felt like that was kind of boring. Don't get me wrong, it was great being up there and it was beautiful, but I thought it was a peak, and maybe that's my fault for going into it thinking it was something without researching it enough, I guess. Technically, I could have went off trail to go to the actual peaks, which weren't too far away, but because it's already got its trails established, I don't want to mess up what's already going on. If it had no trails like Leaden Mountain, then it doesn't matter where you go as long as you try your best to leave no trace. So definitely a different case scenario, and it wasn't a big deal for me to not get to the actual peaks and do that. So great time. I enjoyed it for the most part, and I would definitely come here more often. This is going to be a new favorite. I really enjoyed the scenery towards the middle mountains, and I would love to come back in spring when there's so many flowers and plants blooming and putting new leaves out. It's going to look so beautiful, so I'm so excited to see it in spring. Along with that, there is this I think it was a great horned lizard that comes out of hibernation in spring, which looked so fucking cool. So I'm gonna come back to try and get a picture of that as well. Well, that's everything. I am starving, so I'm gonna go eat and then go to sleep really early. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for coming along on my little adventure. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to stay tuned for my next adventure, and I'll see you next time.